Hey, happy Tuesday. I just wanted to stop in here and just say, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you are encouraged and I hope you are well. And if you aren't, reach out to somebody. If you're not well, reach out to somebody. But today, I wanted to talk about something that I saw on social media, I think it was a couple days ago, that Mexico is starting to outlaw, a certain area in Mexico, I think, is starting to outlaw like junk food and things. So I thought, oh, like, and then the comments underneath the post that I saw were like crazy, one under the other, and there wasn't really any middle ground in thoughts. So I thought I'd just share about the idea of restricting foods in certain areas or taxing them or outlawing certain foods. So there are three things I wanted to talk about, but one is that restricting foods in certain areas, like where there are food deserts or where there are poor areas in a place, that it could be detrimental. If we are taxing people who already can barely afford to get by throughout the day, and the only food that they have access to are, maybe not the most wholesome of meals, if we're going to put more stress on them in our country, I'm just saying in America to begin with, if we are going to put more stress on food and resources like that, what on earth are we doing? Nothing about restricting food would be beneficial to our poorer areas or our food deserts. Food deserts are simply places that have limited or no grocery stores with fresh produce, fresher meats, things that aren't pre-frozen or things like that. So I think that restricting foods in those places would be detrimental, or adding taxes or things like that would be detrimental to them. The second thing about doing this to food and actually controlling people's access to food, I think it would make you crave and then binge on the things that you think are bad. So think about those people that restrict, let's just say that people restrict sugar from their diet, for example. When we restrict sugar, we go and all we can think about, all we want, all that stuff is sugar. And so that, in my mind, would be worse than having access to it at all times and just learning how to moderate that in your life and how to make that work in harmony. So I think that would have a detrimental situation. When we're constantly told no, that's what we want, right? So the other thing, the most important thing about restricting food and things is the problem with obesity is that it's not about the food. It's not. Yeah, it is. It's too much, but it's never about the food. It's about the habits around food, and it's about the use of food. You'll hear me say that I have a family history of obesity and obesity-related diseases. But really what I'm saying, or what I used to say was, oh, I'm just genetically predisposed to being obese, which, yes, I am. I am actually supposed to be about 20 pounds heavier than another woman my size. And that's okay, but obesity is not. Obesity isn't. And how do we become obese? We learn to cope with food. It's a habit. Coping is a habit mechanism. And I think that the problem that we have is that we think that by restricting people or pulling certain food groups away from ourselves, that's just going to solve it all. And that's not. Food is used to nourish. We need our carbs, Brandon. We need to have your brain loves carbs, first of all, and your body loves carbs. And the thing, I'm just going to go on this keto idea that people, pull away and are like, oh, I lost so much weight. Well, that's because you took out a whole macronutrient. And of course, if you're eating less calories overall, you are going to lose weight. And you lose extra weight with carbs because they do hold on to some extra water, which is cool. However, when you're in the hospital, let's think about this. Your body loves carbs because it's easy to digest. So when you're in the hospital, do they hook you up to a fat machine? Do they put fat in your IV? Do they put protein in your IV? No, they put glucose. Why? Because your body thrives on carbs, okay? Carbs are simply vegetables, fruit, your pastas, your legumes, a whole food category. So think about it that way too, but it's this whole idea on outlawing and taxing and restricting certain foods just creates more misinformation and more room for people to not address their habits. And that's avoidance. So with that, I'm going to leave this. And if you have any comments or questions, please drop them below.